Hello everybody, long time no see. I've been taking like a little vlogging break, and I decided to do a vlog break, and so I've been doing blogging instead. I really like blogging. Sometimes it's just easier to say what I want to say when I don't have to think about it so hard. But I do want to keep up the vlogging because I spent money on like a light. Can't you tell? Anyway, so yes, I do like blogging and vlogging. I like both of them. So anyways, and I think the good part about vlogging opposed to blogging is that, I don't know, people are like, oh, what's going on in your life? And I'm like, oh, I thought I told you in my blog, but I guess not. So I'll just tell you in my vlog instead. So, yeah, not a lot's been, well, no, a ton's been going on, but it hasn't been getting us anywhere. So, as you know, our adoption fell through, about 7 or 8 weeks ago now, so it's been about 2 months, and we ended up, there was just a whole bunch of junk after that, that had to be worked out between our agency and us, and some things that the birth mom said that weren't true that put our ability to adopt in jeopardy. So we had to go straighten that out. So we did that, meanwhile working through all of our emotions and feelings on losing our child, and then having to defend ourselves to our agency. It's just a lot. So we did go talk to our agency, and everything worked out. Everything got straightened out, which is really great because that was very stressful for us. We weren't sure what was said, what direction things were going in. We weren't sure if our agency was even the way they sounded. It seemed like we weren't sure for a while if they were going to continue with us, which was just us being overly stressed, but because we didn't have information about their concerns, they wanted to wait and talk about them in person. So our brains kind of like went shooting off in a bajillion directions, with a lot of what ifs this, what if that. So yeah, that was stressful, and then processing grief on top of that. It was just a lot. So all of that got worked out though last week, and we decided on our own, we went there already deciding we wanted to put our adoption on hold for right now. Our home study expires end of January, and we will have to have them come back out, look at our home, go through like a mini interview again, look at our finances. We already were fingerprinted again, because we actually did that on the way to Vermont, because that had expired like the day we got them done, or like a few days after she was born. So we actually got that done, so that's good for another year. But yeah, so just a lot to process, wondering like, what are we doing? A lot of people, and I mentioned this before, a lot of people, like, they decide, are they going to foster or adopt privately, and they kind of make that decision initially. They also just, before they even get that far, a lot of times, it seems like people look at their infertility issues and kind of go down that road for a while before pursuing fostering or adopting. We kind of did, because I'm doing most of the research, I kind of did everything backwards from a lot of people, which isn't wrong. I felt like it was wrong, but I'm realizing now that it's not wrong. It's just my way of doing things. Don't mind our cat. He always drags the water bowl. He's so weird. Anyway, it's not wrong. It's just the way I do things, and it's messy and it's confusing, and if you're like trying to keep up, I'm confused sometimes, so if you're confused, so don't feel bad. So yeah, so what we were doing was we were looking at foster care, we were doing the licensing, we decided we didn't want to adopt through foster care, so we went with a private adoption. But then I thought, oh, I think I might want an older child, not an infant, so we were looking to adopt through the foster care system using the home study and everything from our private adoption. we were at that point, we were actually looking at sibling groups through the foster care system in the New England and East Coast area. We'd actually put in some requests with a few different social workers on a set of 7-year-old twin boys and also a 2 and 3-year-old brother sibling group. And we also thought we wanted a boy, so we were okay with either a boy or a girl, but we really wanted a boy. And then we got the call about Ezra May in Vermont, and we told our agency, well, we've been looking at foster care. We think maybe we want to do older. I'd always wanted to do older, but it took Brandon a while to get there. And they said, well, you need to pick one. So we said, all right, we'll go with Vermont. We'll put everything on hold with the foster care, and we'll pursue Vermont. And then pursuing Vermont, it didn't work out, obviously, but it really opened up my heart to an infant and a girl. And I didn't think I'd do well with an infant. I don't know. I've nannied and babysat for plenty of infants. I just didn't think that, didn't think I'd be a good infant mom with bonding and everything. And it had me really scared and nervous. And I just thought I can talk to a toddler or a 7-year-old. Like, we can talk it out. It's just going to be easier. I can bond with them easier. We can just talk and do activities together, and it'll be easier. But by going through the Vermont experience, we both realized that we actually are really good with infants. And it was actually an easy bonding process, actually. And we also realized, especially I did, that we really want a girl. The clothes are freaking adorable, and I just loved all the crap that goes with girls. And I know I'll pay for it in the teenage years, maybe, most likely, but I just loved it. We both did. And yeah, so 2 things, infants and girls, that we didn't know we were open to, especially me, we became open to. So that was really cool for Vermont. I don't know why it happened the way it happened, but if nothing else, that came out of Vermont. We became very confident in our abilities for an infant. And girls are fun. And I have a bunch of girl crap, and I gave all my boy crap away pretty much. So hopefully we'll have a girl next again, because I have a lot of girl stuff. I tried to keep it gender neutral, but I went a little crazy with the bows. So yeah, so where are we right now? Right now we are still pursuing an IUI. We had to, with our fertility specialist, we needed to, I was put on medication because I think I said in an earlier vlog that we thought it was originally an issue with Brandon, and it ended up being on my end. I don't produce eggs, or I don't release them, I guess. We always have them, I guess, but I don't release them. So I've been on medication the last 4 months to help my body release them, and it's been working for the lab work. So they gave us 3 months to try on our own to try to conceive that way. And in January, so we've been doing that, and then I saw my fertility specialist, and if you follow on Facebook or what's the other one, Instagram, you saw that I got a lot of blood drawn, and that is to see for a couple things. One is it was a lot of genetic testing and stuff like that for me, and we're going to try 3. I told Brandon in July or June that I would try 3 rounds or a couple rounds of IUI treatment, but because it's very important to him to try our best to have a biological child. Not an issue for me, but for him, he would really like to. So I told him I would try a couple rounds. I talked to our fertility specialist. She said 3 seemed fair. So in January, we're gonna try 3 rounds of IUI and see what happens. We're also going to continue our licensing with foster care. We had inspections last week, and I guess everybody fails. So we failed for easy things. I fixed all of them but one thing we're waiting to hear back from the fire chief about. And then we're going to finish up our licensing with foster care, and while we're either trying to conceive or waiting to adopt privately, I think we're going to try to foster, and we'll see what happens. Either we'll adopt privately or we'll end up adopting through the foster care system, and we may or may not have biological kids. But right now we're just taking a month. All that to say, right now we're just taking a month to recoup and pay down some bills that we accumulated over the last 6 months, and yeah, just take some time and kind of chill out. So that's what we're doing. We're kind of waiting to see, after this next month goes by, what's kind of presenting itself, what kind of interests us, and just kind of narrow our options, because the way I went about it, I just took all the options and ran with all of them. And now that I know what I'm doing and have all the information that I was looking for, and have tried a few things, I think we're just on the same page now, and we're gonna just narrow it down and go from there. So that's what's up with us. If you were wondering, you can follow us on Facebook, you can follow us on Instagram, you can follow us on our vlog, which is this, or our blog, which is the Dumb Dichotomy Diaries, over on WordPress. And yeah, and that's that. So I will update you guys after Christmas probably, and yeah, we'll see what's happening. So have a good Christmas, everybody, and I'm sure I'll see quite a few of you in real life before then. So anyways, have a good night, guys. Bye.